We have it. And I'm going to make you co-host. Hang on a second so that you can share your screen and do whatever you would like on this. Again, I want to introduce, and by the way, I've met you a bunch of times. I don't remember if it's Cassandra or
And
Cassie or Kevin. I don't know. What's
it
that?
said Cassandra, Kathy, the Moxi girl, whatever. It's all good.
What? And people call me all sorts of stuff. It doesn't really bother me that much, so. Um, you were here to talk to us a few weeks ago about our you were here to talk to us a few weeks ago about Engage and all the
Yeah.
wonderful stuff you can do with that, how you can send out blast emails, how you can stay in constant contact with your sphere of influence, your past clients, where more than 60% of our business comes from. And today you're going to talk about websites. And I just want to preempt it real quick with the idea that um, so many agents, even after I've sent out email after email after email, for God's sake, stop sharing stuff from Zillow on your Facebook. Now, I want you to share stuff on Facebook. Don't misunderstand me. It's great to do that. But if you share stuff on Facebook from Zillow or even Realtor.com, they are then, anybody who clicks on it, that information is being sold to a competitor, to a different agent, whoever's paying the highest dollar. So where you want to share stuff from is our website, or most preferably your personal website, which is what we're going to talk about getting up and running a little bit better today, because each of you has a website that we've um, opted into with Moxi websites, and getting that up and running, having the listings on there and being able to share them is the best thing you can do from my perspective. If you have to share them from the multi-list, I noticed yesterday two agents share, and I'm not picking anybody, two agents shared multi-list links onto my Instagram page from the multi-list. And that's great that you're at least sharing your listings. But again, if somebody clicks on it, they're really just seeing the multi-list listing for that property. You want them to keep coming back to our websites over and over and over again, and particularly your website, and then hopefully interact with you and start building a relationship with you, and then hopefully buy something, even if it's not the property that they initially click on. So with that, I will turn it over to you, and I'll back off because I do talk too much. So
I love that. I couldn't have said it any better myself. Zillow, Realtor.com, they don't need your help driving traffic to their sites. They're doing all right on their own. And I got to tell you, I'm the first one that's guilty of it. Not just Zillow and Realtor.com, but any kind of publication. Many times we'll read an article or something and we'll hit that share button and we share it right to our social media. Many of us, myself included, have probably done that in the last week or so. And that local publication or wherever it's from doesn't need your help driving traffic. So even with those articles, you've got a blog built into your Moxi website. So you can kind of share your take, yours along with maybe Chat GPT or Copilot or any type of AI take on that article. You don't have to be a professional writer, but share your 2 cents, and you can always please source the article. You can drop that link on your website. But now, instead of sharing the article directly from that publication or the listing directly from Zillow or Realtor.com, you can share it from your website, therefore driving that traffic back to your website. The other really great win with your website is the fact that, the days of somebody saying, hey, call Julie, she's the best realtor ever. Those days of people blindly picking up the phone and calling Julie, they're gone, right? We have the power of the internet now. So people will Google Julie before they pick up the phone and call her. And so they'll see what her web presence looks like. And just curious, feel free to either share out loud or in the chat. If you go onto a website that you say, there's typos on there, or it doesn't look like they spend a lot of time updating that information, you can kind of tell that it's just something that was automated or set and forget. How likely are you to pick up that phone and contact that service, that person, whoever it is that you were kind of researching before you were going to make that call? And I'll tell you, I've been the first one where somebody has told me, check out this place or check out this person. And when I do, I'm not impressed by what I see online. So then it ends there, right? And so it's a big deal. Your online presence is a big deal because before, even with referrals, right? Before anyone picks up the phone and calls you, they want to see what you're all about. And so the Moxi website's going to help you be able to do that. I remember teaching the Moxi website at one of our top agent retreats back in Miami. I want to say it was last year. And I got to tell you, I had some people leave there upset with me. Well, maybe not with me, but upset. And when I asked, you know, what's going on, they're like, I literally just spent $10,000 with a web designer doing everything you just taught me how to do. And every time they want to make a change to their website, they have to pay that person again. And so we're going to get into it. Don't worry, I've teased it long enough. We're going to get into the Moxi website. You can keep it as simple as you want to keep it. There are templates, or you can go wild. And so with that, let's jump on in. Just a quick reminder, I know that I did hang out with you guys a few weeks ago and we talked about Moxi Engage, but my name is Cassandra Gallego. I'm the product specialist for Century 21. And I got to tell you, this is my favorite class to teach. So I'm really excited to be here. So thank you, Lauren, for putting this together. So right now, I believe I'm sharing my screen. Enough of you are on camera where you can tell me yes or no. Can you guys see my screen? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, cool. So I'm on 21 Online. All roads lead from 21 Online when it comes to any of our products. And so to access your Moxi website, what you're going to do is you're going to open up that menu in the upper right-hand corner. We're going to select the Productivity Hub, which is home to all of your tools. And from there, if you scroll down just a bit, I want to say a little further than halfway down, you're going to see all the different Moxi tiles: Moxi Engage, Impress, Present, and your website. Now, Lauren actually had you guys, I love that he shared the offers of buyer compensation feature that was added towards the end of July. So you guys hopefully are familiar with how to access that roster page, but it really doesn't matter which one of these tiles you click on. It's going to bring you right to that profile, that roster page where you can edit your listings. You can edit certain things on your profile. Most of that's going to pull over from Dash. I know I talked about it briefly when we were talking Moxi Engage a few weeks ago, but definitely take some time to review your profile information. There's 3 tabs here, and the reason that's so important with the website is all of this will be pulled onto the website automatically for you. Your photo, your contact information, your bio, that sort of thing. So go through that. There is that little pencil icon there. There's going to be certain things that are just locked. You cannot edit those from here. That would be updated through our back office system, Dash. So if you see something that needs to be updated, please get with an admin in your office, whoever is, charged with keeping that Dash set up to date, and they will help you update whatever needs to be updated. Now, the next step here is at the very top, we see Present, Engage, My Website, and Impress. So you'll click on My Website. Now, what we want to see is our back office admin tool here. It's called and I'm waiting to see for it to load up because it's a mouthful here. Agent Website Admin tool is what we want to see. However, if you have never accessed this, there is going to be an initial setup. So you might be seeing that, and that's okay. It's a one and done type deal. And so real quick, I'm actually going to pull up from the Moxi support site the instructions on how to go through that setup. Because since I've set it up and it's a one and done type deal, I can't walk you through it on mine, but they definitely have some screenshots that we can take a look at. And don't know why it's taken its sweet time today. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and select websites here. And I'll drop this link in the chat for you all. Here we go. Creating your agent website. Hopefully that has come through for you all. Perfect. And so those instructions, once you click on that website at the very top, if you have never set up your Moxi website, the first thing that's going to come up is this pop-up window, this dialog box. You're going to click on that, create a new website. You're going to then select if this is going to be an agent website or a team website. So for those of you who are on a team. Typically, the team lead will determine whether they want to use their website as the team site or the agent site. For the most part, most, if not all of you, will be using the agent website. And then finally, you're going to select your URL or subdomain name. So it's typically whatever you put in this box, followed by whatever follows that box. Mine's a demo account here, so you're seeing .agent.moxiworks.com, but mine would typically be something that is related to my my brokerage. So it would be like .c21sites. You know, homes.com or something like that, depending on what the brokerage name is that might be tailored. That's not the end of the world, because what's going to happen is you will have the ability to purchase a domain name, whether it's on GoDaddy or domains.com or whatever. Some of you might already own a domain name. If you want to bring that over, you absolutely can. That's what I did. I've owned CassieGallego.com for years. I ended up bringing it over. So now when you go to my website, it's CassieGallego.com instead of whatever I typed in here. That being said, you won't be able to set that up until your website is in existence. So you do have to put something in here, and then we can bring that over after the fact. Okay. Finally, once you plug something in there, you're just going to check if that's available. You'll know if it's available because it'll be green. It'll tell you that name is available, and then you'll just hit submit. That is it. You'll never have to do that again. It's a one and done type deal. Moving forward, when you click on that website tab at the top of your roster page, it should bring you to that website admin tool we were talking about. Okay. I did drop that link in the chat. So if you need to follow those steps later on, that's there for you, along with a short video that will walk you through that. Now, before we continue, I just wanted you to get an idea of what is capable with these Moxi websites. So I live a very exciting life, and one of my favorite things to do is just go through different agent websites that were created on Moxi. I told you, very exciting life I live. And so I have kind of saved a nice little folder of some really great examples that I wanted to share with you, because sometimes it's just the inspiration we need to be able to see what is possible. So I'm just going to pull up some examples here. Here's one, spillmangroup.com. And they've put in, their own extra tiles here. They have some resources, testimonials that they've plugged in here. So lots of really great ways to personalize and customize this. There's 20 of us on this call, and all 20 of us can have very different looking websites. Let me find, there was one yesterday that I was like, ooh, that's good. Oh, this one's really good. RachelLovesRealEstate.com. I remember seeing this one yesterday. Completely different look, completely different feel, all still built off of the same tool. Still built off of Moxi. She's got a carousel of images that kind of goes through there. She set up her featured communities. She's got a little bit of information about herself. She has I'm assuming she pays for some type of service where there's a home valuation. She plugged that into her website, along with home buyers and sellers guides. So lots of really cool ways. And again, I have tons. So if you want some additional examples, I'm happy to share those with you all. But I just wanted you to see you can really customize this. Okay. So we're in the first step. So just a quick reminder, we got to our roster. From here, we clicked on my website, and that should, after you've completed that initial setup, bring us here. Now, we've got this left-hand navigation bar. That's typically how I like to navigate because it's always there. However, right now we're on this home tab, which gives us all of these bullet points. And so you'll see me kind of work off of this, but just know that any of these bullet points actually fall within the buckets that you see here on the left. So if I want to personalize my site's style, that might fall under appearance, and you'll kind of see that play out. So let's go ahead and start with that. Let's personalize our site style. We're going to click on go there. See here how on the left now I'm on the appearance tab. So like I said, it kind of falls under that that bucket there. And so there's 3 options here under your site style. There are 2 kind of out of the box, ready to rock and roll websites that you can work off of, especially if you want to keep things simple. That's what I'm going to recommend. And then the 3rd option is a custom page. And you'll notice I've got a drop down menu here. These are different pages that I have created. And so because I have built out these pages, I can select any of these and make them my homepage, designate them. That's the page that people land on when they visit my website. So if you do not have any custom pages set up, not the end of the world, you can actually create a new page. Just know that if you create a new page, you do want to come back here and then select it to designate that as your homepage. It's an important step. Otherwise, you're just creating a page on your website, but Moxi doesn't know that that's where you want people to land. So let's keep things simple for starters, and then we'll kind of work our way to the custom side of things. I wanted you to see if we choose one of these options. This is the search focused option. So you'll see that the search is kind of the star of the show here, followed by the agent's contact info, a welcome message, and some additional content. And then the agent focus, the content's going to be exactly the same, except they kind of swapped the agent profile and that welcome message and the property search, making the agent kind of front and center. There's no right or wrong. It's just a matter of preference, what look and feel you like more. The content on those pages is identical. It's just kind of organized slightly differently. So if I want to use this search focused option, I'm just going to select it. We'll hit publish. And then one of the things I do like to do is make sure that on a separate tab, I have my website pulled up so I can start to see the things that I'm doing to my website. So at the upper left-hand corner, see that teeny tiny link that says visit site? If I click on that, it's just going to open up my website on a different tab. And so as I'm making changes to it, I can see what it looks like. So this is that search-focused layout that I selected. And now what we're going to do is you can choose that photo. You can edit this headline. You can edit your welcome message, your featured searches. And so we're going to kind of work our way down all the content on the page and show you how you can edit that content. So let me make my way back to the admin tool. And if I click on home here, that'll bring us back to our bullet points. And that's going to bring me over to personalizing my homepage. That's the next bullet point there. And again, that kind of falls under this homepage bucket here. So I didn't have to necessarily click on that home and go through those bullet points, but I wanted you to see how those kind of communicate with each other. So here's my homepage. And as you can see, it kind of works down. I showed you on the website, there's that background image, there's my headline. It's going to work down what your website looks like so that you can kind of edit those pieces of the site. And I am getting an alert from Zoom that let me quit Teams and see if that helps, that my system resources are a little full. Hopefully that, can you guys see me okay? Am I on a lag right now? Okay, finally. I was getting worried. Okay, so right now we're on the homepage tab under website, and we're gonna edit the photo. Let's start with that. So if I upload or choose an image, I do have the ability to upload my own image from the computer. Just make sure you're gonna have to confirm that you have the rights to use that photo. Make sure that you're not just Googling images and grabbing them and using them. And just so that you're aware, there's tons of websites out there that have free stock images that you can use. Pexels.com is a good one. Unsplash.com is good. So is Pixabay. I like Pixabay because they also have music that you can use. They have video that you can use for other things. So those have royalty-free images and graphics that you can use, that you're not having to worry too much about that copyright issue. Also, Brand Studio. You guys have Brand Studio within 21 Online, and we have a ton of really great content there for you, graphics, video, all sorts of things that you can use. And if you're like me and have a slight Canva obsession, Canva is also full of really great options. There's the free version that has some. If you have Pro, you've got even more choices. So as you can see in the chat, lots of choices to make sure that you are not violating any copyright laws. We don't want you getting in trouble for that. So you've got the ability to upload from your computer. There's also the image gallery, which is a gallery of stock images that you can choose from that are provided by Moxi. So you can kind of scroll through and see what you like, what you want to use. So I am going to change mine. And just so that you're aware, the one that was there was one of the stock images. I'm going to get one of the outside that I liked. There we go. We'll use this one right here. So I'm going to go ahead and select it, and we'll select for that custom area. Now, be mindful. The next couple steps you'll see here is text color and background effect. That's for that headline that is superimposed right over that image. If you notice, the picture that I chose kind of has a white fence. So if I'm using white verbiage that's going to be right above that white wall or fence, whatever you want to call it, it could get a little bit muddled, which is why it gives you the ability to kind of darken that background effect so that that verbiage can pop and you can actually see it. It's a little bit more legible. I'm actually going to turn that feature off and come down to the bottom and publish just so that you can see what I'm talking about.
Excuse me, Cassandra, can you explain where exactly you are at right now? How do I get to the website where you're updating the picture? Because I am
Where are you right now? I'm sorry.
I'm in my Century 21 online, but I don't have the option of present and engage.
So you're going to open up the menu in the upper right-hand corner of 21 online. You're then going to select the Productivity Hub.
I don't have that as one of the options.
If you're in 21 online? Let's take a look. Are you signed in?
I am. It just says market a listing, promote yourself. I'm not sure if it's not because I'm new.
Underneath? Do you see that if you scroll down a little bit? This Productivity Hub option?
I don't have that option. No, there's only 3 options.
Okay. So we're going to have you take a look with an admin or somebody at your office to make sure you're set up correctly, because you should have all of these choices.
Oh, you know what? I'm so sorry. I had to scroll down for some reason. I did find it.
It's okay. Perfect. No problem. So once you click on the Productivity Hub, you'll scroll down until you find any of the Moxi tools. There's Moxi websites here, and you'll click Go to Moxi.
Okay.
From there, then you have the ability to choose Moxi Engage, Moxi Present, Moxi Impress, or Moxi Websites. I don't know if I said them in the right order. There we go. Moxi Present, Engage, Website, Impress. Now, if you've never been in here, you're going to have to complete that setup, which I did share the link on how to complete the setup in the chat. So we're going to have to continue forward. So you might want to take some notes.
Okay.
But it takes some time to complete that setup, because moving forward, when you click on my website, you should see this tool that allows you to kind of navigate through the backside of the website.
Okay, thank you. I will do that.
No problem. All right. So I have actually changed the photo. Let's go ahead and refresh my website so that we can see how kind of that verbiage falls right on that wall, and it can kind of get tough to read. And that's because I don't have that background effect darkened. And you can do it the opposite way too. You can go black text and light in the photo. It just depends on the image that you're using. So I'm going to come down and turn that on so you can see the difference in how that looks. See how now my photo has darkened a little bit and you can read that a little bit more clearly. So that's kind of what they're talking about here with the text color and that background effect. Now, if we continue, there's your headline. As you can see, it says your search for home begins here. I typed that in there, and that's why you're seeing this here. You can change that to be whatever you want. If we jump down to your profile, this is where it's going to pull the information that shows up right here on the home page. And again, some of that you can edit. Some of it will be locked. If it's locked, just know that needs to be updated via dash at the office level. Now, if we continue, we've got our welcome text, and that's going to appear next to my contact information. So welcome, I'm excited you're here. And I typed up a little blurb there. You can put whatever you want. Some people put in a video. Some people like to put in images. Some people use it to share their bio. I don't necessarily love that because there's actually an area on your website that says about you, and it has your information, and that bio pulls from your roster. So it's completely up to you, but it's just a space for you to welcome people to your site and let them know what they can find and do on that website. As we continue on, you also have featured properties and a custom search module. And you do have the ability on some of these, if I don't want to have a custom search module, I can actually say, you know what, I'm going to just hide that because I don't want to limit, a search on my website to just one given area. It's completely up to you if you want to use that or not. If you hide it, Moxie's just going to kind of rearrange that website slightly so that things look the way they should. So the featured properties module, you're going to see that there are pre-created lists like my active listings or my sold listings, maybe some featured properties or my offices or companies listings. I'm going to recommend sticking to those pre-created lists. Because if you go and create a property list of your own, for example, I did one that was open houses this weekend. If I go and create one and I select specific homes, if they're not mine, I need permission from the agent whose listings I'm featuring on my website to be able to feature them, right? That's one aspect of it. And two, if I'm doing, open houses this weekend, if those properties sell or they cancel the open house for whatever reason, or I leave them on beyond that weekend, then it's up to me to go back over there and update that. And that's just a lot to remember to do. So my 2 cents, I really like the idea of sharing your brokerages or company's inventory, or even featuring and sharing what your track record looks like and saying, you know what, I want to feature my sold listings. So completely up to you, but just know there are some great options there for you. The custom search module, you can create a search. If you look at my website right now, I have our inventory, and then I created a search. I plugged in the criteria that I wanted, and based on the criteria that I entered, Moxi put in, some search results here. I don't need to update that because it's just pulling directly from the MLS. So, as things sell, as new things come on, it's always updated, right? Listed a day ago. I didn't update that a day ago. It was just automatic. So how do we set that up? Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you publish any changes that you've made up until this point, because if I were to come over here and click create a custom search, it's going to give me a warning. You have some changes that may not have been saved. And if you leave any of those changes, you'll lose. So let's go ahead and publish. You're going to hear me say publish a lot because there's nothing worse than doing that work and then it being gone all of a sudden. So I'm going to go ahead and click here where it says create a custom search. Now I am going to be able to say, you know what, let's create Nokomis. I'm going to do a custom search, Nokomis Homes. Now, in this box, the custom search path, the instructions are right here. It says the easiest way to construct your custom search path is to execute a search on your website. When you have that criteria set up the way that you want it, you're going to actually copy the URL and paste it in here, starting from the word search followed by /. So I'll show you an example of what we mean by that. I'm on my website. I'm actually going to search here, Nokomis. Oh, it's thinking. There we go. And I can put in whatever criteria I want. So I'm going to, it's brought me to that area. I can come over to my filters. And I'm going to say, let's just do single family homes in Nokomis. We're going to do waterfront. I'm feeling very waterfronty today. I don't know. And with a pool. So we're going to go ahead and hit apply. And once I'm happy with my search results, I'm going to come over here and I'm going to grab, see here where it says search /. I'm going to just copy all of this. There we go. And I'm just going to copy that, come back over and paste it right in here. And I'm going to change this to say Nokomis. Whatever. I'm going to just grab that. All right. So we're going to go ahead and save. Now I've created.
This is a great search for a lot of you. Some of you that are on right now are serving the Delaware Beach area, and some of you on right now are serving the lake area in the Poconos or Lake Wallenpaupack. So great search to save. You can also do it neighborhood by neighborhood, but I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's a great point. Yeah. So if you want to kind of narrow down and just because you have that featured on your site doesn't mean they're limited to only looking at property. It's just, you know, a nice, easy right there on the homepage search, but they can go in there and search anywhere that your MLS serves. So that's a great point. So now that I've saved that, I'm going to come back over to my homepage tab here and continue working down my list of items that I can update. So we were here. I'm going to change this to say Nokomis Waterfront Pool Homes, and we're going to select from this drop-down menu. There's our new search that we created together. Okay. Otherwise, I can choose to hide it if I want to. I'm not gonna. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure I publish. So now, if I click on my homepage here, it should show my updated, there's my inventory, and then there's my Nokomis Waterfront Pool Homes that I can kind of scroll through. Okay, so still working down our homepage. Underneath that custom search module, we've got two other modules here. We've got the blog module and the links module. Let's talk about the blog module. If you are going to, and we talked about this at the beginning, I think Lauren did a great job sharing, stop sharing, you know, your listings from Zillow or Realtor.com or even from your MLS. You can actually pull them up by conducting a search on your website and sharing it right from there. But the same applies for those articles or interesting, you know, things that you read about that you want to share onto your Facebook. You can put that here in your blog. So you can title your blog whatever you want. I was very creative and I named mine blog. And you can then choose which categories of posts you share, or you can just kind of do a rotation of all of them. And so this is just a matter of, do I want the blog to appear on my homepage or not? So if you do, that's kind of what that would look like. All your posts would be linked here and they can click right to them. And if you say, you know what, I don't have time to blog right now, maybe later on, I'll take that on as something I do. I can erase the title and I'm going to say post category none. And that will actually, if I publish that, remove the blog from my homepage. So one or the other, and if you're not going to blog, I recommend removing it because that's worse, right? Having it on there and having nothing there. that's doing what we were talking about earlier. When somebody comes to the website, well, they have a blog, they haven't updated it in 10 months. So probably they take that much time and attention on their own web presence. How much time and attention are they going to take when it comes to working on my transaction? So it's gone, and that's fine. Otherwise, you can choose to display it by giving that title and choosing what's displayed. In terms of actually posting things, on the left, you'll see blog posts, and you can add new posts and things like that. So definitely another topic for another day, but it's pretty simple. It's you draft the blog and you post it. You can categorize it and all that good stuff. But if you want it to display, you'll name it. And then I'm just going to put all here. As far as links, you probably saw it briefly on my site. I created a list of links called additional resources, and I put in the Manatee County property appraisers and great schools and the town of Lakewood Ranch where I live, and Macaroni Kid for kid activities, the website for Sarasota. You get the idea. And so you can, if there's lots of websites that you know that your customers could benefit from or your clients can benefit from, you can list them here in your links module. You can title it whatever you want. So I titled mine additional resources. And if you want to manage those links, you would click on manage links. You'll be warned again, so make sure you're publishing in between if you made any changes so that you don't lose that work. And these are the links. If I wanted to create a new link, I'm going to go ahead and say, all right, new link. And I put the Manatee County property appraisers. Let's put the Sarasota County property. Make sure you spell things right. That helps. And I'm just going to pull up the website for, oh, there it is. I'm going to grab that link and I'm going to come on over here. I titled it. Here's the web address. You can give it a description. Basically, it's if they hover over the link, it'll tell them where it's going to take them. And I'm going to categorize it. So I'm going to put it under my helpful websites. And I can also choose if somebody clicks on that link, is it going to take them away from my website or is it going to open it in a new window, which is what I like. That way my website remains open at all times. And once I'm happy with what I've done here, I'm going to go ahead and click add link. So now if I come over to my home page, because I categorized that under my helpful links or my helpful websites, it's there. I don't necessarily need to publish, but I always still do just because I'm paranoid. So we'll go ahead and publish. And now if I were to go to my website and update that list or refresh it, you'll see that the newest link there is the Sarasota County property appraiser. Okay. So with that said, the last two modules on that kind of pre-built website are going to be the featured video module or whatever it is that you want to call it. Mine is called This Is Our Century because I titled it that. And then the mortgage rates module. I can choose whether I want to hide that or not. It's as simple as just a click. And as far as this area, a lot of people use it as their featured video. I'm going to go ahead and erase what I have in there and show you how I added that video. Again, make sure if you are using a video, especially if it's from YouTube or Vimeo, that you have the rights to use that video. I like the idea of recording your own video saying, hey, I'm glad you're here. I'm Cassandra Gallego. These are the things I specialize in and I can't wait to help you find your new home. I mean, that's easy enough. And you can upload that to YouTube and there we go. Or you can go to Century 21's YouTube channel and we've got a library of videos that you're welcome to use. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull up you know what? I like this one. International Week of Giving. That one's a relatively new one. So I'm going to pause it. And what you're going to do once you find the video that you want to share, you're going to go ahead and click share. Now, instead of sharing the link, we're going to switch to this embed option. See, when you share, how you can share, and you can share to Facebook, you can share to all sorts of different places. I'm going to click the embed option. That's going to give me this code, and we're just going to copy that code. I don't know how to read it or write it, but I am an expert copy and paster. And so with that said, I'm just going to come on over here, and to plug that code in, I'm going to click this, see where it says this insert or edit media, it's a little play button. I click there, I switch over to embed, and I'm just going to paste my code, and we're going to hit OK. And there's my video. Now, it looks really large on the back office of your website. That's okay. Moxi will actually resize that so that it appears and fits where it's supposed to on your site. So I'm going to go ahead and hit refresh one last time here. And there's my video. You can play it right now. So that is that kind of simple pre-built option. Now, one of the things that I showed you when I was showing you different examples of different websites is some of these agents actually customized what they have in this menu, this drop-down menu here. You'll have the ability to do that, and that's going to be right over here. See where it says Site Pages? If you click on Site Pages, you'll see all the pages that are currently on your website. Now, you might say, Cassie, you definitely did not have this many pages, and that's because I have actually hidden some of these pages. For example, buying and selling, I hid that. I'm going to go ahead and hit show here. Now they're showing. Make sure you publish. I know. I said it again. But now if I refresh or visit the home page again, you'll see there's my buying and selling drop-down menu that was not there before. So you can choose whether you hide things or show things. You can also rearrange the order in which those things appear. The other thing you'll notice is, for example, my About Cassandra. That's all the way out to the left, but there are a couple things kind of indented. I can choose if I want to indent something or not. I can bring it back out. I think that one won't because it's my profile page. But there are certain things that I can grab. For example, the blog. If I want to put it underneath my About Cassandra, I can, or I can bring it back out. And basically, anything that's all the way to the left is going to be one of those menu items. Anything that's indented just a little bit is a sub-menu item, which means if I come over here, there's a sub-menu item. About Cassandra, there's another sub-menu item. Okay, so you can actually also add pages. So if I want to add a new page or a tab, I can say, you know what, let's add a new menu item. And I'm going to name this Featured Communities. I'm not really creating a page. What I'm doing is I'm creating a menu item that I'm going to start categorizing some pages underneath. So I'm going to come back to my site pages here. And actually, if I refresh over here, I wonder if it did it or if I need to hit publish. There it is, Featured Communities. There's nothing underneath it yet. But if I come back over here and add new, you'll see there's custom pages, there's properties pages, testimonials pages. I would probably create a custom page and start creating a page for each community that I want to feature. And so that's kind of how I would go about that. If I want to create a custom page, I'll go ahead and hit submit here. And I'm going to name this, I live in a subdivision called Central Park at Lakewood Ranch. And I can then build out this page. where I can use the text editor or the builder, which is what I like to use, because the builder allows me to kind of customize that page. Instead of using something pre-built, I can grab all sorts of different, I call them Lego pieces. I got 2 boys. We got a lot of Legos. I've stepped on many of them. It's very painful. But here we are. We have all sorts of different modules that I can grab and drop and build out a page. Things like images, video, headings, text, where I can talk about that neighborhood or that area. Now, notice these are all under modules, and I have also advanced modules. There's just so many choices. I can grab, drop them, I mean, the sky really is the limit. I actually don't recommend starting with a module because it's kind of tough to kind of line things up. I usually will tell people to start with a template. And as you can see, there are all sorts of pre-built pages that you can kind of work off of. And I would only really choose based on layout. Don't worry about images or colors. That can all be changed. Just think in terms of what am I going to have to make the least amount of changes. And under templates, I have, these are MoxiWorks templates. There's also landing pages that I can work off of. There are content pages, and I can use any of these and kind of build that page out using this as kind of a layout. There's also micro pages. So those link in bio pages or a coming soon page, that sort of deal. So I'm not going to build. Go ahead.
Sorry, can I mention, just thinking outside the box, keep in mind, if any of you have a target audience, let's say you deal with foreclosures or REO properties, you're going to build out some pages to talk about that. If your specialty is working with divorcing clients or working with attorneys or working with builders, all of that becomes something that you can build out pages that are custom and try and link back to that. And then eventually, if you decide that that custom page is really how you want to focus your site, you can change your main page to that custom page so that your site revolves around that, whatever your specialization is, if that makes sense.
1,000%. And actually that leads me to the example that I shared earlier, right? When you saw some of those websites that I shared at the beginning, their homepage pages looked completely different than what I was just walking you through, because what I walked you through was the more simple out of the box pre-created one. And so I'm not going to create a neighborhood page here, but the process of what I'm about to do is exactly the same as if I were to create one of these neighborhood pages. So I'm going to make my way back, just kind of back to our admin home here. And we're going to say, you know what, instead of building a pre-built website, I want to create a whole new home page that maybe has some of those features that Lauren mentioned. And I want that to be customized. I don't want to use what has been pre-built. Well, what I'll do is come back to my site pages here. And we're going to create a new page. So we'll go ahead and click new. And I'm going to use this custom page option. And I'll name this home 2.0 so I can differentiate between the original home and the new home, so that, and then I can come back and remove that 2.0 later on. We'll use the builder. And like I said, I usually really recommend starting with a template instead of trying to visualize and come up with something on my own. And again, don't worry about the verbiage or you know, the photo. That can all be changed. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this as my homepage. Actually, I like this one better, About Us. So I'm going to select that option, and then I'm going to completely flip it on its head and do whatever I want with it, pretty much. And so just so that you can see that you do have the ability to do that. So if I don't like this photo that they've selected, I can just come over here, click on that little wrench, and it will give me some options. So for this row right now, the style it's telling me that this is what's called a parallax. It's filling up that whole space. I can change that background to be just a photo or a slideshow like you saw in that other example. I love the idea of putting maybe a video back there. Have you ever visited a website and there's kind of video playing in the background? It looks super nice. Well, if I select video, then guess what? I need to provide a video. So I can either provide it from, a YouTube link, or the media library is just going to allow me to upload whatever I want. So I actually went on Pixabay, I think it was, and I found a video of a cityscape, and I uploaded it right here. See how I can upload my files? I uploaded it to my Moxi. So I'm just going to go ahead and select that. And I'll select that video. And what I love about this is that in real time, you'll start to see some of those changes take effect. So you can say, ooh, I really don't like that. Never mind, close. Or that looks great. I'm liking it. I'm going to go ahead and save it. Now, maybe I don't want to use this, or maybe I want to change it. Again, anything I want to change, I just put my mouse over it. I click that little wrench and I can make some changes. So I'm going to change that to say something else. So once that loads up, I'm going to say, let's have it say, it helps if you spell your name right? Meet Cassandra, period. And there's actually some additional verbiage that maybe I want to get rid of, and that's okay. Before I do that, I can also change the style. So right now the heading's kind of small. Maybe I want to make that bigger. Maybe I want to change the font. Completely up to you. So I'm going to say, you know what, let's make that larger. So size. Boom. Whoa, I made that really small. There we go. I like that. And I think I am going to keep the font, but just know there's a ton of options here. I mean, you can go wild. Play with it, see what you like. I'm going to go ahead and see where is my, come back to general here. Where's this verbiage hiding? Oh, I'm in the heading. So we're going to go ahead and save this first. And I'm gonna, oh, I guess it is in the heading. So we want to get rid of this verbiage here. Where's that hiding? Oh, I guess because it's in white font, we can't see it. Look at that. It was really, really hiding. It really didn't want me to get rid of it. So we're going to go ahead and hit save here. And now if I wanted to add something else to this, it's a lot easier because I started off of a template. I'm going to get rid of this. And I can then come over to my modules and say, all right, now I want to add a button. And I just drag that and I can put that right wherever it is that I want to put it. Well, what do you mean a button? I might say, you know what? This button is going to say, learn more. I can choose an icon if I wanted to. There's a whole library of things that I can choose from. Maybe I'm going to use this. And I can also change what that button looks like. So see here, when I get to style, I can say, all right, let's center that. And let's, change the color. Text color, maybe I want it gold. And maybe the background, I want it black. I don't know. Kind of like a company I know or a brand I've seen before. And maybe I want to put gold or white bordering. Ah. Color. There you go. I don't know. You can play with it, figure out what you like, what speaks to you. But as you can see, and I created a button. One thing I didn't do is decide where that button leads to. So if I come over to general, back over to that general tab, we have learn more. I had put my little clouds there. I can put a link here. So I can say, you know what, let's link them over to about Cassandra, and I can provide the link to that tab. So I can always kind of play with that. That's just an example of what adding a module would look like. I can change all sorts of things. I can say, you know what, I want to come over here. I love this. If I come over to rows, they have some pre-built rows already created for me. So I don't even have to think in terms of design. I can say, you know what, I'm going to put a call to action here. And I'm going to use something like this. I don't know. Something smaller. I'm going to grab that and put it right here. All right, I can then change what that says. I can change the colors. I can make it more in line with my brand. So I can come over and say, let's change that to be gold or white. There it is, background color. Let's make it gold. And save. And if I want to edit the verbiage, I can do that. So as you guys get the idea, don't worry so much about the colors and the photos. That can all be changed. I would say think more in terms of layout, what you like, what speaks to you, what you say, wow, that looks really great. Because once you're done with it, you just hit done. You can publish it, which is a hot mess because there's definitely a lot more editing that I might want to get in there and play with. But once it's done, remember, Moxi has no idea that this is what I want to be my new homepage. So I still have to go back and designate it as a homepage. But before I do, I wanted to share one last thing in the builder where we were making these changes. At the upper left-hand corner, there's going to be a little beaver, my little beaver builder guy right here. If I open that menu, you can see it. You can preview your website at any time. But one of the things I really like is this responsive editing. That's going to allow you to see what your website's going to look like depending on the device that someone's viewing it on. If I were to ask you what device you use to visit any website the most, what would that be? Let me know in the chat. What tool do you use the most to browse the internet? Is it your computer? Is it your iPad? Is it your phone? What is it? Let's see. You guys are really thinking phone. Well, Lisa says her computer, but I would bet a lot of money that the majority of people, they're sitting in car line, guilty as charged. They are at the doctor's office or the dentist with their children, right, waiting to be called in, and it's mostly on the phone. And so would it be a good idea to see what your website looks like on a mobile device as you're editing it? Absolutely. So here, see how I've got, there's extra large, that's what it would look like on a computer. Large would be what it looks like on a laptop. Then we've got medium, which is going to be a tablet. And then you've got your small, which is your mobile device. What would it look like? Which right now, I'm not really happy with that, am I? See how it's cutting off my name and all that. So being able to edit while it's in that version, I can then say, you know what? I don't want my name to be cut off. So maybe I need to make that font a little smaller, right? And I can come over here and do that. So very important to kind of take a look and see what it would look like on those different devices, especially if we know that a lot of people are visiting from their phones, which is why I like the templates a lot. I try not to like go too crazy making too many changes because they've already been tried, they're tested, they're tried and true, and they look great on the different devices. So just wanted to throw that out there. The last thing you're going to want to do when you are creating these custom pages, if you want this to be your home page, we still need to go back and tell Moxi that. So if you come over to your admin home, we're going to end where we started, and that is come back to that personalize your site style, or you can go directly to appearance. And then you would select custom and select from that list, and there is home 2.0. It might, Levon, it might be worth publishing. She asked a great question. Does the image fill in correctly if you turn your phone? I want to say yes, but worst case scenario, and I'm almost like 89.7% percent positive of that answer, but it's definitely worth, maybe publishing a page as an example and trying it. You can always delete it or remove it or hide it after the fact. So once we come over here and select custom and choose which page, now we publish. Now we have told Moxi that that's my new homepage. When you visit my website, that's what I want people to land on. And that's pretty much it. If I were to come back to my homepage, there's a couple extra little steps and all the instructions are here for you. But that's going to be, to make sure that your site is visible to those search engines. If you want to bring over a domain name, the instructions are here. And they're also on support.moxiworks.com. So what I'm going to do is, Lauren, I'm going to send over an email with links to the instructions on how to bring over your vanity domain. If you want to have laurenkind.com instead of laurenkind.c21sites.homes.com or something like that. And also how to just make sure that your security certificate is activated. That way, when you Google someone, I know we've all been to those websites where it says, stop, this website's not safe, right? And we get scared. That's what that SSL certificate is all about. So we want to make sure that people are not being blocked from visiting your site. But I know I am over time. I could talk about the website all day long. There's a lot of really great stuff in there. I'll share some examples with Lauren as well so that you guys can draw some inspiration. But definitely, like, as you're visiting websites, as you're visiting not even just real estate websites, but as you're navigating the World Wide Web, if you see something and you say, wow, that's pretty cool, I wonder if I can recreate that on my site, 9 times out of 10, the answer is, yeah, you can. You saw all those modules. You saw all the little cool features that you can drag and drop onto your website. So really, the sky's the limit. I think you guys are going to come up with some pretty awesome things, and maybe some of you will even make it on my special bookmarks page. Where I have tucked away some of my favorite websites that I found so far. There's a whole lot more of you than there are of me, so I'm just trying to keep up, but lots of really cool options here for you all. I do have a little bit of extra time, so if anyone has any extra questions, I'm happy to stick around. Otherwise, I owe you 5 minutes of your lives back somehow, some way. I will find a way. Mike, that's a great question for Lauren. I
did record it, so we will share that later on this afternoon. Because I know some of you are going to want to play this back on if you have 2 screens, and watch that and then try and work on this on the other side, because it takes a little bit of time to play with this. But some of the stuff you can create with this is incredible.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Lisa asked if we can share other examples or websites that I like. Absolutely. I'm happy to either do that now, or like I said, Lauren, I'm going to send you a follow-up email before the end of the day with the instructions, all the things I shared in the chat, and I can drop several examples in there as well.
That'd be great.
Perfect. All right. Any other questions? Hopefully I didn't scare you and you're more excited than you are afraid. But remember, you can keep it as simple as you want, or you can go wild if you want to and do a lot of that customization. The last thing I'll say is, if you are active on Workplace, Bob Patel, he's one of our admins, trainer extraordinaires out in on the West Coast. He does webinars and things like that are open to everyone, and he's constantly answering questions. There's a Moxi Works group on Workplace. Highly recommend it. And if you don't want to deal with it at all, he even builds websites out for people if you want to pay him to do that. So he doesn't know I plugged him, but a lot of agents from across the network have been reaching out as well. So he does good things. Yep, will do. Absolutely, Mike. All right. I will share. You know what? I see a lot of people asking. So if Lauren's not kicking me off yet and giving me the hook,
No,
I'm
feel free to talk as long as you want.
I'll pull up a couple more examples that I really, really liked. This one was kind of nice because he incorporated some of that video that I shared with you. My computer's just a little slow today, so I'm in the process of begging and pleading for a new one. There we go. So he's got that video in the background. He's got some information about himself there. He also sets up, you know, some additional content categories. He plugged in some featured videos. So lots of really nice things there. And I'll share one more. Let's see. There was one yesterday that I was like, they're all so good. I wonder if it was Julie. I mean, hers was good too, but that's not the one I wanted to show you. There's so many that Kelly's was really nice. Here we go. She's out in California. And again, just very different looks, very different feels. She's got testimonials. She's got the communities kind of loading up there. With my super speed computer. A little information on buying and selling, connecting with her, and she's got some video there as well. So again, very different, which I love because every single one of us can have a very different look and feel, but using the same, it's actually WordPress. So if you're familiar with WordPress or you've ever heard of WordPress, it's a very well-known platform to build out sites, that's used to build out sites. And so that's what you're getting access to. I finally remembered, and so I'm sorry, last one, I promise. It was, well, I want to say it was this one. Yes, she built this one on Moxi as well. Very simple, but as you scroll down, she's got, you know, her team there. And she does share a lot about, you know, she's got her to-do list. She has a HomeBot widget that she's plugged in there, testimonials. And one of my favorite features on her website is her client page. See here where it says My Clients? I love what she says. She put, you know, every client has a story, what's yours? And she actually has them all do that. She has their testimonial along with their photo. And I thought that was really well done. So just, and with that, I'll stop because we could be here all day. All right.
I will mention for a few realtors with Central 21, there are a couple of people that will take your site and create it for you, but it's not inexpensive to have a really nice site built. Might be $1,000, but some agents do go that direction and have that done. But anything that we can do to help, please let me know.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is if you do figure out doing it on your own, you're not then having to pay someone every time you want to add something or make a change to it. It's yours to have complete and total control over it. Lisa, I see your hand up.
Cassie, how do we change the time zone in our profile?
So that should probably, if it's locked and not letting you update it, that would have to be probably updated via Dash. All right. But I do believe, make sure too, if you're in that profile, that roster page, sometimes we'll see the time zone and try and change it and it won't let us. It could also be that we got to click on that pencil first. And that might allow you to make that change. But any change that does not unlock and it does not allow you to make that change, that would then have to be made. We want to make sure that we're taking a look at Dash and that it's updated there. All right, good question. All right, now I owe you 11 minutes of your lives back. I don't know what I'm going to do to figure out how I'm going to do, but we will figure something out. But with that, please connect with me. I'm on Workplace regularly. I'm actually doing a class on Tuesday network-wide on how to use Moxi, Moxi Present particularly, but all of Moxi on all things buyers, buyer compensation, and getting buyers agreements signed and working with buyers using the different Moxi tools. That's going to be on Tuesday at 3 p.m. Eastern. And it's part of our Focus Forward series. So Lauren, if you want, when I send over that email, I'll share a link to that as well. And
That'd be fantastic.
All right. With that, I will let you go. And I hope to see you all in a class soon.
Thank you very much. Thank you for everything you do, by the way.
My pleasure. Thank you for setting this up, Lauren. And if you need anything else, you know where to find me.
Thank you.
Sounds good. I'll see you in a few weeks down in South Carolina. Thanks.
Okay, take care. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.